Hello Wolfpack, I want to look at Bitcoin right now because I want to try and answer the question, is the 4-year cycle, as was previously known, being which every 4 years there's a bull market and there's a 3-year bear market in between or something like that, is the 4-year cycle invalidated fully on Bitcoin? And I actually, contrary to popular belief, in a contrast to people who would say that, November top ruined the 4-year cycle, invalidated the 4-year cycle, now our only hope is lengthening cycles or uncharted territory. I don't think that's the case. I think that the 4-year cycle still exists. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why. And I think that with this recent top out in November, assuming that was the top of the cycle, which is an assumption, but it's very likely in my opinion, there is actually more evidence for a 4-year cycle than there was before. Okay, and I think that the idea of a conventional 4-year cycle, where we have a blow off top, might need to be thrown out the window. But a 4-year cycle in the terms that every 4 years we have a bull market, still very much remains, and there is definite correlations between where we should be topping. So what we can look at right now is measuring the top in 2013, the days between the top in 2013 to the top in 2017, and what we can see if we grab that measurement, we're looking at around 1,400 and something days, okay? That is the days between the 2013 top and the 2017 top. If we measure the top between the 2017 top and the recent top, the 2021 top, we're looking at 1,400 days once again. If we measure, and you'll see a trend coming along here, the period of time between the bottom in 2015 and the bottom in 2018, we're looking again at around 1,400 days. Okay, now that is 3 very clear data points that all point to the same number, 1,400. For those of you who don't know mathematics in this general sense, in order for a trend to be worthy of extrapolation, or a data point to be worthy of extrapolation, you need 3 separate samples, okay? We have 3 samples now. That number 1,400 has come up 3 separate times. In order for that to be a coincidence, it would have to be extremely unlikely for that to be a coincidence, right? That is definitely a trend. That is confirmed a trend. Otherwise, there's maybe a 1 to 3% chance that's a coincidence, right? We can kind of safely assume that's a trend playing out, where 1,400 is the go-to number. And what we can see if we do that is we can actually get a measurement of where the next bottom will take place on Bitcoin. All we need to do is bring this along 1,400 days. We'll say 1,450 just for argument's sake. Okay? And that is going to bring us to around December, let's just say 1,400, okay? And 40 or something like that. Just to make it a little bit more precise, a little bit more accurate to what these ones were. We're looking at late November 2020 as the potential bottom for this bear market, okay? For those of you who don't know, a 3-year bear market is a misleading term. Okay, because what we usually see in a bear market is actually 1 year of downwards trending, and then kind of 2 years of slow upwards accumulation, and then 1 year of a full bull market, okay? Same thing here, 1 year of downwards trending, kind of slow accumulation for 2 years, and then a full bull market. So a 3-year bear market isn't necessarily a thing, right? It's a 1-year bear market that you usually see on Bitcoin. I think the term 3-year bear market is used a little bit too lightly. People throw it around there. It's not actually the case. And we're seeing this number 1,400 come up a lot. And another thing that would support the theory that we'll be bottoming out in November 2022, which is very likely here from what I'm seeing, is kind of the 50-week and the 200-week SMA. What we're seeing specifically when it comes to the 200-week SMA, and we can take away the 50-week here, this green line is the 200-week SMA. What we are seeing is a trend occurring in which it takes about a year for us to bottom out on the 200. So we can notice we topped out in November 2013, and when we reached the bottom of the bear market, right, it was January 2015. So about a year, a little bit more than a year, 13 months. In 2017, we saw the same thing. We topped out in December, and we bottomed out on the 200 in December. So again, about a year. It was 13 months in 2013. It was a year, 12 months in 2017, 2018. If we use that data point as an extrapolation of data, what we can actually see is that we will be taking, again, about a year to bottom out, right? A year from the top date was, the top date being November, does coincidentally line up with the bottom date that was just provided to us by this extrapolation of data of 1,400 days. To late November. So not only do we have this data kind of repeating here, the number 1,400 keep coming up, we also have another piece of evidence to use, which is utilizing the 200-week SMA and the top date in November to assume that we're going to be bottoming out on the 200-week SMA in November 2022. Right? So not only is this helping us determine when the bottom will be, November 2022, It is also helping us determine what the 4-year cycle is, where we are in the market, are we in uncharted territory, and we can conclusively say, in my opinion, that we are not in uncharted territory, right? We are very much still following the 4-year cycle. The blow off top didn't really happen. However, that was not a fundamental component of the 4-year cycle. That was just made to be a fundamental component of the 4-year cycle by crypto influencers constantly hyping it up to be. Okay? Doesn't necessarily need to happen, right? We still saw the bull market to new all-time highs, and we still saw upwards trends on Bitcoin and altcoins. We didn't need to blow off top. The market cap's significantly larger. The space is very different now. More people are interested in altcoins than Bitcoin, and so a blow off top wasn't really necessary. Especially considering the institutional control is much larger than other markets. And so for a blow off top to happen now would basically be impossible, right? Because people would just, the manipulators would just see that as so much free money because they can just flush out all the leverage every 2 seconds. And so there's not going to be this massive upwards trends like we saw in 2017, 2013. It's just simply not going to happen again. But that's what I'm kind of thinking about Bitcoin right now. I'm kind of thinking that the 4-year cycle is very much still intact. So technically, we were correct, right? I've always been a 4-year cycle believer. And by my logic here, it still stands. 1,400 has come up 3 times now, and it looks like it may be coming up a 4th time, according to the trend that predicted 1,400 to come up a 3rd time, and also the trend in which we're seeing between the 200-week SMA and the top dates on Bitcoin. And so I will conclude that the 4-year cycle is still very much alive. And what we can actually say here about Bitcoin, if we're gonna think this 4-year cycle is still live, right? We can use this number 1,400 as a further extrapolation to find out when the next bull market top will be. And what we need to do is we need to take this bull market top here in mid-November, extend it 1,400 days, all right, somewhere in that region, and we can see that the next bull market will be topping out in November 2025. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you were kind of take my kind of insight here into consideration. A lot of people would just assume the 4-year cycle's over, and you'll see not many people are talking about it anymore. They're not looking at the data. They're just taking it, they're taking it as it is, as not seeing a blow off top. They're taking that as kind of a reason for it, the 4-year cycle to be invalidated. Not necessarily the case. I think the 4-year cycle is still alive and well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.